All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Here I have an article, okay, pretty recent. It came out today, actually. It says here at 3:22 p.m. All right, it says, Schiff offers bill to make domestic terrorism a federal crime. Okay, and through the spirit we've been saying, all right, that this is gonna happen because eventually they're gonna come after us. Okay, but they're putting certain bills and laws into place to justify or give them the necessary means that they can use to come after us. All right, even if that means coming after us to put us to death, which you'll see as is written in this article. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna declare us and deem us domestic terrorists. Okay, it says Representative Adam Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, introduced legislation Friday that would make domestic terrorism a federal crime. The Confronting the Threat of Domestic Terrorism Act would create a federal criminal statute that would cover domestic acts of terror committed by those without links to foreign organizations. Schiff said the legislation was sparked by the recent mass shooting in El Paso, Texas, as well as attacks at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh and the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina. It says authorities believe the El Paso suspect warned of a Hispanic invasion, and he reportedly told police he was targeting quote-unquote Mexicans. The attack in El Paso by a white supremacist is only the most recent in a disturbing and growing trend of domestic terrorism, fueled by racism and hatred. All right, now pay attention to the key words that they use when they're describing certain situations. All right, racism and hatred. These are the same words that they used when they had us on the news talking about what we were a hate group. Okay, we were racist because they pulled up the clip, all right, of you had certain brothers that were teaching at the damn, I forgot where it was actually, but it was basically with the high school kids. Okay, you had the high school kids that were going back and forth with the Native American elders, so the, quote unquote, all right, which brothers brought videos out showing that he might have been an agent. Okay, but you had a group of Israelites over there which were cursing out those high school students, those Edomites. All right, and the news just made it look as though what they were racist. Okay, and they were full of quote unquote hatred. All right, so it says the confronting the threat of domestic terrorism act would for the first time create a domestic terrorism crime and thus provide prosecutors with new tools to combat these devastating crimes, Schiff said in a statement. Because they see that the works we're doing, although we're not physically hurting anybody, this is really bringing down the kingdom or the society or the influence, all right, of these Edomites, right, of these elites. So therefore, they're trying to find a way because they already deemed, look, man, we are the number one threat to these elites, man. We don't even know how much of a threat we are to them. Okay, that's how they have us on the number one red hit list. Like they want us gone. Okay, it seems you got people that will come up against us and they don't realize the magnitude of what we're doing and how it's affecting these elites. All this right here is to come and stop us from preaching this word. Okay, it says and thus provide. Okay, I read that part because that's what they're looking for. All right, they want the permission and the ability to now come down upon us physically. All right, shutting down the internet, that's light work. But they want to be able to stop us from pushing the word on the internet and stop us from being out there teaching. Okay, what better way to do that than to deem us domestic terrorists? Now, for domestic terrorists, what you think they're not gonna come out on the news and post that? Anybody who has seen these men, or if you know somebody that knows these men, call this number or report them. If you're harboring a domestic terrorist in your house and you don't let the authorities know, you might be in danger of being arrested by affiliation. They're gonna push all these scare tactics and demonize us, and there's gonna be an all-out assault on us. What? Because we preach the Bible? It says, when violence fueled by homegrown hateful ideology poses a more immediate threat to the safety and security of Americans on American soil than an international terrorist or organization, it's time for our laws to catch up. But really, the ones who really pose a threat to the safety and security of Americans on American soil are these elites, man. Your own government. They're the ones who pose more of a threat. You want to talk about threats? Why don't you talk about the chemtrails they're spraying in the air, the poison that they're putting in your food, you know, the poison they're injecting into your kids, the pedophilia that they're allowing and promoting, the Pizzagate scandal, okay, all these different things that they're promoting, all right, but they have the nerve to come and talk about hateful ideologies, calling us black, calling us Negroes, putting us in slavery. That's a hateful ideology, in my opinion. All right, but where are the laws against that? All right, they don't exist. So it says Schiff's bill includes numerous civil liberties, protections to prevent misuse, including a requirement that the Attorney General or a deputy certify that crimes committed were intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population or to influence government policy before charges may be brought. Well, like I brought out in a previous video, go look up Project Megiddo. There's a section they have for Black Hebrew Israelites. All right, and read what it is that they have under that section. All right. It says the legislation is also requires the Privacy and Civil Liberties Oversight Board to compile a public report on the civil liberties implications of the statute within 4 years of passage, and refrains from establishing a list of domestic terrorism organizations out of concerns over First Amendment violations. Any person to have violated the law or conspired to do so, check this out, would be punished under U.S. Code 2332B, which outlines penalties for acts of terrorism transcending national boundaries. Now, look at what this says. I'll read this real quick and go right back. It says Section 233B of Title 18 U.S.C. effective April 24th, 1996, was enacted as part of the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act of 1996. So this is a part of Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act. I told you before that what they're doing, all right, they're not going to create a whole new thing for us. No, they already have laws and punishments for terrorists, including death. So what they are trying to do is be able to deem us and what we're doing as an act of terrorism, so that way they can subject us to the same punishments as terrorists. Okay? It says Section 233B is intended to reach violent international terrorist activity that keeps place within the United States, where at least a part of that activity also occurs outside the United States. See, that's what it was intended to do. But with the Domestic Terrorism Act, since it has the word terrorism in there, right, they can still relate or equate you to it, therefore subject you to the same punishment. It says the violent conduct can be targeted against persons or property within the United States. The statute covers such conduct when it violates either federal or state law. So, is that not what we see them trying to do? Trying to make domestic terrorism a what? A federal law? A federal crime? Okay? These devils think they're slick, man. It sets forth a wide spectrum of bases to assert federal jurisdiction. It provides for consecutive punishment in addition to any other federal offense that was committed. Subsection 2332B also gives the Attorney General, i.e. the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, primary investigative authority of all federal crimes of terrorism, as that term is defined in 2332B. All right. Now, it's the same FBI. They're the same ones who comprised or put together Project Megiddo. So keep that in mind. Continuing on, it says Schiff's bill comes amid growing calls to define domestic terrorism as a crime. New York, and now you see how they act. Problem, reaction, solution. What they wanted from the start was to be able to really get at us. Okay, so what did they do? They had these shootings take place to see the reaction of the people, and what they do is they direct it in the way to where people, all right, are gonna seek what it is that these elites are trying to enact into place through fear. Okay, shootings, mass shootings. Now they say, oh, this is the act of domestic terrorism. So in order to stop and prevent this, we need laws put in place against domestic terrorism. Okay, they're not slick, man. It's called problem, reaction, solution. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo proposed a new state law Thursday defining domestic terrorism as a crime punishable by up to life without parole. It would apply to anyone who kills people in mass attacks because of their, check this, race, religion, or sexual orientation. Now you think it's going to stop at just people who do the killings? No, they're going to come and say, oh, it's people like you that influence these people to go and do so and so. Or these people who did so and so were a part of people like you or groups like you teaching out of the quote unquote Bible. You know, therefore we got to get you because you are the kind of people who enact, all right, or influence people to go and do things like this. Trust me, they're gonna pull out all their cards, man. And you think all these events that happened, these things that we got certain members or members or ex-members of Israelite groups, all right, that went and committed certain acts, all right, putting people to death, so on and so forth. What you think? We think with how high we are on their hit list, they just let that slide under the rug? No, they're not ready to use it yet. That's why they haven't made it a big deal. You know, not yet. But they will put all these things together and they're gonna bring it out at once, man. So really, you gotta prepare your faith, man. Prepare that faith, man, because it will be tested. Okay. This is Revelation 2 verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. See? Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. How is he going to do that? Because this isn't talking about spiritual demon Satan. This is talking about these elites, these Edomites. All right? The devil meaning the deceiver. And that's what they're doing. They're going to deceive the masses of the people into making us look like we're terrorists and we're criminals. And by that, creating certain laws, they're going to put us into prison. All right? You just read it. I mean, I just read it to you. All right? It says what? Governor Cuomo said this is punishable by up to life in prison without parole. Now they're saying once they make it a federal law, what? You're subject to the death penalty. Okay? So yes, very soon you will see how the picture becomes clear that for preaching Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai's sake, your life will be at risk. For those who, and listen, man, listen. It's not about what you're doing now. And no. They have been gathering information since the beginning, man. So those who were a part of this and left, you're not safe. All right. Anybody affiliated whatsoever with being an Israelite, you're done. They're coming for you. Okay. So it says that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So guess what? If you have to be put to death, so be it, man. The Lord said, be faithful unto death, because that's a possibility that some of us will have to go through. Okay? And then we just read it, the death penalty. Okay? And the Lord said he will give us a crown of life, man. So if you have faith and you believe in the words of the Lord, man, then regardless of what they bring, you're going to maintain that faith. All right? This isn't a matter of fear. All right? No, this is a matter of faith, man. And what's coming is either going to strengthen your faith and you're going to be able to go through it, or it's going to kill your faith and you're not going to be able to go through it. But all that proves is that either you are or you're not of the elect. So, hey, man, at the end of the day, man, this is the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and we just have to pray that we are those faithful servants that endure unto the end. Okay? Lowland, this was edifying to the elect. Call hello, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.